Lately, my social media has been feeding me a lot of comparisons between the Detroit and Toledo Zoo, and I feel like there is a very large piece of missing information during these comparisons. So, a lot of people like to say that the Toledo Zoo is more entertaining, and there's actually like a very good reason why the Toledo Zoo is more entertaining than the Detroit Zoo. And that simply is that the Toledo Zoo is people first and the Detroit Zoo is animal first. The Toledo Zoo is what you would call like an entertainment zoo. So basically, the enclosures are structured in a way so that people are entertained. And that's not to say that they're making the animals uncomfortable on purpose, but they're not made with the animal's best interest totally in heart. Like, they're made so the animals are constantly on display.
All right, so what you're seeing on the screen is a new exhibit that the Toledo Zoo just opened up this year. Now tell me, does it look like they're putting people first or animal first? I mean, I do find entertainment from this exhibit, but it's because it's so large and natural and the animals are acting in a natural way. Okay, so I've not been to the Detroit Zoo, but I have been a long time Toledo Zoo member for decades, at least 2 decades. Um, but a lot of what she's saying is just completely false and like an extreme biased. But I do plan on visiting the Detroit Zoo even before this video came up. Is one of them in Michigan I haven't visited that I wanted to. I've been to the John Ball Zoo, I've been to a Binder Zoo, even the Reptarium, but Detroit Zoo has always been on my radar. And actually, because of this video, I'm going to go, and then that way I can see for myself. Because a lot of what she's saying as far as against the Toledo Zoo is just false information.
Whereas the Detroit Zoo is a rescue zoo. The majority of their animals are there because they had to be rescued. Like the brown bear exhibit, the brown bears lost their mother as cubs. They would have died if not for being taken in by the Detroit Zoo. The Detroit Zoo also has acquired animals from illegal zoos, exotic pets, like things like that.
Okay, so the Toledo Zoo also takes in unwanted animals that are in situations that are not fair to them. One of the elephants, correct me if I'm wrong, but was in some type of like traveling circus ordeal and was retired from that. It's now was part of the Toledo Zoo's herd of elephants where it got to just kind of live a little bit more relaxed life. And how about the polar bears? If you ever go to Toledo Zoo and there's one polar bear that walks like, I don't know, it's like 10 feet, and then when it turns, it lifts its head and like curls it. That's because that polar bear lived in an exhibit before the Toledo Zoo had it. The exhibit was so small, in order for that bear to turn around, it had to lift its head and twist it in order to turn. And that's as big as its cage was. That's the pacing you see of that bear, is how big that cage was. Now that it's in a huge, large enclosure, it still has that same behavior because where it was kept previous was way too small. And also, the giant saltwater croc they have on exhibit, they flew that. It was a nuisance croc that was going to be killed in Australia. They flew it from Australia to the States, to Ohio, for the Toledo Zoo. And now it's on exhibit. And yes, originally the exhibit wasn't as big as it should be for a croc that size, but that exhibit was built for a much smaller Cuban croc. But if you go to the zoo today, the reptile house is closed because they are revamping that building, and that saltwater croc is getting a much more larger exhibit that it deserves. I mean, what more can you expect? They couldn't really plan that they were going to have this massive saltwater croc that was going to be a nuisance, right? It was the opportunity. It just popped up. Just like I'm certain the Detroit Zoo. Some of those animals, they don't know of them, and then suddenly, boom, this animal needs something, and all you can do is provide what you can for them, right? So, I mean, again, I don't know the Detroit Zoo, and I'm not going to say anything negative, because I don't think that adds anything. But to act like the Toledo Zoo is just some flashy entertainment zoo for people only, for the enjoyment of people only, and that they don't seem to care about the animals, yeah, that's just false. And clearly you've not been to the Toledo Zoo anytime soon, or you've just gone in with your complete bias without even being honest about your opinion of it.